Hello my dears, this is Sarah from SheHoldsDearly.com, and today we're gonna go on a home tour. I wanna show you my friend Andrea's cottage style home. I know you're gonna love it. So I had the privilege of visiting Andrea's home last week. She has the blog Pine and Prospect Home and a fabulous YouTube channel. You will be hooked if you aren't already. And she's a good friend of mine. We get together once a year with some other bloggers and we compare notes and encourage each other, and it's a really great trip. This year she hosted in Michigan, and so we got to see what her neck of the woods is like. She's on the Great Lakes, so the whole place had this coastal feel and farm and coastal. So like even as I was coming into land, I look out the airplane window and I see cornfields. I'm like, where's the airport? Like, what is this? I'm from Seattle, you know. From the moment I could see the area that she lived, I was like, I could live here. This is so beautiful. The story of her house is really sweet. She grew up in this town and she would walk by this house on the way to school and wanted it forever, and ended up getting it after she was newlywed and got a great deal on it, and it was just like, it was a God story. So the history is really awesome, and then she has just room by room transformed this place, and she's so frugal and so just beautiful. She really inspires me as a decorator, and I just know you're gonna love her place. So I'm gonna share pictures and I'm gonna share elements that you can use in your own space to recreate this kind of look, things to keep in mind when you're out thrifting and trying to pull a whole look together. And then I'll show you my just iPhone videos of me walking through, and they're not gonna be as good as her photographs, but I did want you to kind of get the 3D feel of it, so I'll put that in at the end. So she describes her place as English cottage. Sometimes I think English cottage can be darker with darker woods and darker, richer colors. So I think I don't want to call it coastal cottage, although it totally feels coastal like when you're there because of all the water and the beachy feel. But it doesn't have like she doesn't go overboard with sailboats and seashells and things. Nautical theme, I didn't feel that in her house. But if you wanted a coastal cottage feel, this would be a good line to follow along, and then add in some different more nautical elements. So definitely we're gonna call it cottage, and you're gonna see why. Number one, if you want to recreate this look, you gotta stay committed to neutrals. So whites and a little bit of tan and a little bit of gray. You can definitely bring in blues and greens, but a lot of her greens were actually flowers and greenery. And she's really good with faux flowers, so be encouraged if you're like, I can't fill my house with fresh flowers all the time. Hers are not, and she has a blog post on how she finds them at good prices and what to look for and how to, it was stunning. She does a lot of raw wood, which then looks really good with her gold accents and her baskets. She's got baskets everywhere. You wanna do shelves, like open shelves and built-ins everywhere you can make it work. So she has like a window box area in her sunroom, and she has these arched bookcases that they built, and her desk was, I think, like a $50 thrift store find, and she put it up against the wall with beadboard and shelves, and she talks about these little corbels that she uses, or like little brackets she gets at Home Depot, and she just made this whole like built-in area where she does her paintings, and she does paintings, so she sells her paintings. I love her work, and you can purchase those here. I will give you the link for that. Then the other thing I saw a lot in her house were wood beams. So she gets a lot of her rock and her wood, she salvages it, and she gets it for free from farms, local farms and things, and old barns. And so she and her husband put them up on the ceiling. My rooster is quite loud. I'm sure you're hearing him in the background. We're on a legit little farm here, guys. But so she has these faux wood beams up on the ceiling, and she has tutorials on how they did that. She has a beam over her new stove. She has her mantle is matching like an old beam. Another thing I love is her use of stone, and her backyard is amazing. She got a lot of stone from farmers, and she just has it used in all these different ways that just real cottagey. You want stone when you're dealing with a cottage. So she has this one accent wall in her kitchen. It's actual stone, like it's called air stone, and she has a tutorial on it, but she does one wall there, and then it matches her fireplace that they did with a little arch opening in the living room. And then she has slate floors in like the entryway and the kitchen. So again, you see the rock. She uses a lot of glass. I don't even know if she would even recognize that about herself, but she uses glass a lot as her accent, and I just love that. I actually started using a lot more glass after I saw her house a couple years ago. Just using glass cloches and glass jars and even glass shades on her lighting. So bring in glass a lot if you want a cottage look. I think that's very classic and timeless. And then last of all, you're gonna see how she disguises modern appliances and things. So the TV, they built this cute little enclosure over their mantle for the TV, and her kitchen is amazing. They built a simple enclosure for the fridge. They made the dishwasher look like kind of like an old ice chest, I guess is what you would say, and there's a tutorial on how to do that. I loved it. And then they just recently got an old vintage looking stove. It's not vintage, it's new, but put that in there and then hid the vent up above it with a beam that they added in. So keeps really modern looking things, keeps them toned down and looking like, you know, it's been 100 years since the kitchen was done. So she has fantastic taste, and I know you're gonna love following her. I hope you got some inspiration for the cottage style, and we can add that into our other series where we're teaching about different styles. Let me know in the comments below if you love this style, if you would say that this is your style, and give it a thumbs up if you learned something new. All right, take care. I will talk to you soon.